The following program on KROC AM is sponsored and paid for by Meshbesher Spence.
And Andrew Davick joins us from Meshbesher Spence. Andrew, how are you?
Good morning.
Where is your coat, young man?
Well, I sort of have a coat on. It's
layers.
You know, a heavy shirt.
It's like a heavy shirt. I was rushing. It's running a little late this morning.
Mother always get on you when you were a kid? Probably still does.
Still does.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Shifted to my spouse a little bit.
I'm looking at your, we're going to talk about a basic auto case.
Yeah.
From beginning to end.
Yep.
All right.
I thought maybe it was a misprint.
I thought maybe basic auto care, and, about waxing and vacuuming and things like that.
And maintaining your tires. Zach blew a tire last night.
You did?
No, Zach did.
Oh, Zach did. Okay.
Yeah, he should have been keeping better air in them, so
Yikes.
I blame him.
It's never good when it's 15 below to blow a tire.
No, it's never good when he calls me 3 times and I miss every call. I think he wanted me to pick him up.
Oh. And I hope that he was just sitting in his driveway when it happened, but I doubt it.
I kind of doubt it, too. I haven't spoken to him yet, so.
And he probably won't be speaking for the rest of the month.
He's holding a grudge.
That's exactly right, yeah.
All right, tell us about auto case, then.
Auto case. So you're in a car accident. Some people are going to hire a lawyer, some are not. First thing you need to do, obviously, is at the scene, make sure you make contact with the other driver, make sure you get the information, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You're then going to contact your own insurance company, open up a claim file. If you're injured, you're going to be entitled to no-fault benefits, so you're going to be able to make a claim for medical bills, wage loss, those types of things. And ultimately, if you meet what's called a tort threshold in Minnesota, you have a permanent injury, $4,000 or more in non-diagnostic medical expense, you can be compensated for your pain and suffering against the other company. Some people do that on their own. Some will hire a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hire a lawyer, there's kind of multiple steps in that process.
Does that speed up the process by getting an attorney, or does that, sometimes those cases can drag on forever?
They can take a long time. It sort of depends. It depends if the insurance company takes advantage of an individual who doesn't have a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Those cases probably move pretty fast. And you do see that. Some of the companies are pretty aggressive in terms of touching base with the individual who's been in the accident right away, offering them a settlement. For a lot of folks, it's money that, can help them at that point in time, not considering what the issues may be down the road.
It can take a long time, too, if you are hurt, to find out the extent of your injuries.
Absolutely. It can take years. So if you hire a lawyer, what the lawyer's going to do is they're going to get your medical records. They're going to notify all the insurance companies of their involvement. And the process is going to it's going to take some time, like you said. If you continue to have problems with your injuries, if you continue to have symptoms, likely there's not going to be a resolution of that claim till those symptoms have plateaued or you're back to a relatively pre-accident status.
And we should probably say that this is not the case all the time, but sometimes the insurance companies do not play nice.
Well, absolutely. I mean, with your no-fault,
they're defending themselves.
Right.
They'd rather not pay anything if at all possible.
You bet. They're a business, and they're going to try to minimize what they have to pay out in terms of either their first-party insurance if it's no fault or their third-party coverage if they're having to pay an individual or having to compensate an individual who was injured as a result of the acts of their insured. And they're going to try to limit that. But it does take time. You go through the medical process. You go through the demand process where your attorney or you individually submit a demand to the insurance company. They evaluate and make a determination. If it's a case, they're going to be able to settle within the range that the parties are talking about. And if you don't settle, then you end up in litigation, and that brings its own delays and its own process through the court system.
Yeah, and then you got you don't know the severity of your injury. Sometimes years, months, and maybe even longer.
Well, if
down
you get
the road.
for instance, a concussion. I mean, if you get whiplash or something, that's a physical. You can see that. But if it's a concussion, it's a brain thing, and that can go on for a long time.
It can. It can take a long time, and you have to be patient with that. And I think sometimes it's hard for clients because they need immediate help. They're missing time from work or bills aren't getting paid, and so they'd like to see a resolution of their claim. But unfortunately, resolving it early in the process may be a detriment to them 2, 3, 4 years down the road.
Well, there's a lot of people that do not have money setting aside for a rainy day, and if something happens that they miss work, their car needs to be repaired, they have a couple extra $1,000 worth of bills that they can't cover. I can see why you'd be willing to take a settlement.
Absolutely, and insurance companies understand that. I mean, insurance companies are smart entities. They know who they're dealing with. They know who the individuals that are injured are.
Are you required anytime you receive anything from an insurance company to sign off at that point, or is that where you need an attorney?
Yeah, typically, if you're going to settle with the at-fault party's insurance company, they are going to require a release of claims. They don't want you coming back 3 years from now saying, well, my injuries are worse, I should be entitled to additional compensation. So they're going to want you to sign off. In terms of your own coverage, your first party, your no-fault benefits, you generally are not going to have to sign any type of release while they are paying those benefits. Mm-hmm. Tracy had mentioned the wage loss benefit, or if you're missing time from work, you get a wage loss benefit, which, by the way, as of January 1, for the first time in 20-plus years, it did increase from $250 a week to $500 a week. So finally, it hasn't caught up with the times, but you can get up to $500 a week now for your wage loss benefit, even if your accident occurred before January 1 of this year.
Well, if you do get into a car crash, I'm suggesting, and injuries are evident and obvious, you might want to get a hold of an attorney, and maybe at Meshbesher Spence.
Absolutely. Even if you just have questions, we're always happy to answer them.
Otherwise, drive carefully.
Drive carefully, absolutely.
Carefully as possible.
Stay warm.
Watch out for the other guy because he probably doesn't have insurance.
Right. Don't wear coats like I'm wearing today.
Yes. What is the phone number at Meshbesher Spence?
It's 507-280-8090.
And the website?
www.meshbesher.com.
Andrew, have a great week.